Yo, what's happening? Welcome back to another episode of StoppageTime TV, live in the flesh, live in direct. You already know what time it is. If you don't know, please listen carefully. We are here every single weekend, midweek as well. After the important fixtures, make sure you catch us on FTBL. Get locked in the live stream. Come and let us know what you're thinking. But we thought, you know what?
Notifications on.
We're going to give another little. You guys have been good to us. We're going to be good to you. So we were sitting down and we were thinking. And we was like, you know what? This Premier League, it's changed our lives. We get to talk about football. That's great, some amazing stuff. But really and truly, in this last century, we've seen some really, really good things. We've seen football change. Mm-hmm. We've seen P&P era. We've seen tiki-taka era. Mm-hmm. But in the midst of so many different things, right? We've seen footballers that have influenced the game of football. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not talking about the best players ever. I'm talking about you look at a player and what they've done has resulted in things changing within football. Whether that is the way teams set up, formations, tactics. They have done something that's made the game of football revolutionized. Like, who are some of the players in the recent century, so that's in the 2000s?
I'll start with Manuel Neuer. There's been keepers at a time that have tried to play the game in a let's say a modern way, maybe like Victor Valdez. He used to try and come out a little bit. When Manuel Neuer first broke through, Man United wanted him when he was at Schalke because he was this keeper that was so dominant like Oliver Kahn, but he was so quick like Casillas. He was off his line like Valdez. It was like, who is this machine? What Haaland is now, for strikers, what we're calling him now, was what Neuer was in goal. It was like, bro, you're a robot. You're a machine. No one could beat you. Coming out, doing diving headers. Then he started getting on the ball and playing. And then I think after that 2014 World Cup, where Germany won the World Cup and Neuer displayed not just unbelievable goalkeeping, he was balling on his feet. Team play highlight, don't matter, I'm coming.
Ridiculous.
Sweeper keeper. What we call the sweeper keeper now. And everyone now is looking for a modern keeper. Pep is coming. I need Edison. This person's coming. Everyone, Allison. All of these keepers that come out, sweep, try and play the game. The father of that was Manuel Neuer. And I don't think there's been any more influential player to how the game goes now, probably, than Manuel Neuer, because you are not allowed to be a goalkeeper that's rated unless you can play with your feet. But I remember the days where centre-back is taking goal kick. Yeah. You remember them days? And now that's not a thing anymore. Like, your goalkeeper has to be able to ping it on the side tech, half volley, control it. Now goalkeepers are even jinking past strikers, doing fake shots.
Naughty.
So I think for me, if you're talking about revolutionising a position and having an influence on how football is today, I think you could look no further than Manuel Neuer.
That's a shoe in top three.
The reason why that's a sick example is because that's one that stood the test of time. There's some people, they've done something and then it changes after. Yeah. I've got a funny one. It's one that happened for a little bit, but I don't care what anyone says. People had to change their game plans and realise this was a tactic.
I know exactly who you're going to say.
Man,
it's
like,
in the Premier League.
Flipping. Are you mad or what?
Kill me.
Are you mad? Team said, wait, hold on. All right, cool. Just try and get a throw in. We've got a lad that can throw. Push the defence back. What?
Listen, throw-ins became a tactic.
Bro, guys were seeing balls go out for a throw-in and would rather kick it out for a corner because they were fearful of
that
ball. It was, if that's not influence, I don't know what is. When ball boys had towels ready on the top, you've influenced more than just the moment.
When Steph is on, remember when Steph is on the 3-point, man are like, let's just take that easy layup. Let somebody take that layup, man. We can't let Steph. No. Yeah, that's what it was basically.
The reason why it's so mad as well is because, for that team anyway, when that would happen, you see the fans back, yes, you go for it, because they knew how influential it was, and other teams didn't do it to that level, but they were finding guys that could throw it. It would not. I kid you not. It became a scant requirement of, can you find a defender that's got a long throw?
There is Livo now in today's game throwing throwing coaches.
Liverpool,
there's throwing coaches now, so they track how quickly you recover the ball and throw it in, the distances, the techniques. There's actually throwing set piece coaches now, like how there's corners.
It's a ripple effect.
So now I don't know if you can say that was because of Roy Delac, but in the Premier League, with what he's saying, even though that's a funny one.
No, but even to the degree it amplifies the danger of what the throwing can be. So it has a ripple effect, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. But one I would recommend is, I think it's a position now that I feel like has become almost normalised, but the inverted winger. I think the player who, for me, kind of really set the tone for that was Robert Pires. In my eyes, now obviously there was Figo them times, there was Nedved around them times as well. But for me, when I say I'm talking a right-footed winger on the left who could cut in and regularly contribute assists and goals. He was like an actual threat. No matter what foot. And the thing is, it wasn't just, I'm going to come in. Like nowadays, inverted wingers are literally inverted. They don't go on the outside. He could take you on the outside as well. So for me, when I saw him come through, he was putting up, I think, 11 Premier League goals in like 3 seasons in a row. I think the guys like Ronaldo and that came after him saw that and said, bro, we can do this even better. And that's where I feel like the inverted winger almost rocketed off. When that Robert Pires showed, guys, we can get goals from here. Not just get it down the byline and whip it. Yeah.
I think
who do you think?
You know what? I fully agree, because I always say he's the first Premier League proper inverted winger.
Yeah.
But I still got to give that, in terms of influence, I still got to give that to Cristiano Ronaldo, bro. When Ronaldo started putting 20, then he went crazy and put 31 Premier League goals from the wing. Everyone there said, bro, you need to score goals. You need to score goals. What I would call him, Pires, maybe you can say he's the pioneer.
Yeah, he said the blueprint. He said the blueprint.
The influence, the influence from
he took
me
it to a different stratosphere. I agree with that.
Like the Salahs and all these guys are here because of Cristiano Ronaldo, in my opinion. Do you know what I'm saying?
But Ronaldo had to see that somewhere. Yeah. And I feel like even like Fergie was seeing Pires at Arsenal do that to his team and was like, yo, I need jack this. I've had Giggs and Beckham for yo, Ronaldo, I think you've got the profile to be on this side.
All right, because in basketball terms, right? Sorry, I gotta go basketball terms. All right, the record 3-point shooter was Reggie Miller, right? Perfect example. Did he influence the game, or did Steph Curry influence the game?
You asked Steph Curry growing up, I guarantee he acknowledges Reggie Miller.
Who changed the game, though?
Steph Curry. We agree with that.
And that's what Ronaldo changed the game.
You know what? But do you know what?
Ronaldo changed the game.
They changed. You know what I mean? They've both had levels of influence.
The reason why I'm mentioning Pires, honestly, is because of that.
He's the proof of concept.
I feel like everyone gives Ronaldo that you made inverted, and I'm like, yo, let's not neglect this guy.
That's good ball knowledge.
I can't lie to you.
I appreciate the knowledge.
I've got one. That's good ball knowledge. And people may not agree, but I'll take you back to a time where 2 strikers is a normal thing. You know,
big and
little. You know, that's what you do.
Kevin Phillips,
Jose Mourinho,
now Quinn.
Jose Mourinho comes to the Premier League, gets his striker, Christmas tree formation, football's changed forever. Didier Drogba, you have to say, was a key influence in shifting and becoming single-sided sixers. People won't like it, but coming in, scoring goals, facilitating, that's influence.
No,
that is influence.
When Jose Mourinho came with the 4-3-3,
Christmas tree, come on, man.
Drogba,
then what, you're having Duff and all of these, man, come on, man. Drogba in the middle, influential. Everyone thought, I don't need 2 of these big guys. All right, cool.
Complete the original before we knew what it was. A guy who could hold up the play, link it up with nice feet touches. He can. The types of goals he was scoring. So you're talking volleys, you're talking free kicks, you're talking left foot, right foot, headers. He could do it. He had all the tools in his box, and it was like the fact that he could connect it all. The funny thing is when he came Chelsea, though, it took him 2 years, 3 years. I think the year for me where Shevchenko came and he felt like there was pressure. I got to deliver now. It all just clicked, and he never looked back onwards. And my God!
But even the seasons where people say like Drogba wasn't doing well, I remember. I think it was the first season he was top assister in the Premier League. So that just kind of shows
facilitation.
His influence in the game. I agree with you, because I remember everyone was saying that this guy doesn't score enough goals, because we're so used to strikers scoring goals. If you're going to be playing for a top team, you got to get 20, 25 in the league. And Drogba was coming with like 9 or something. But he had like 11 assists. So it was a little bit different. But I fully agree with that one. One more, because I think...
Because remember, we're not doing all of them. We're just saying a few names quickly, you know.
Give us your suggestions.
Let us know as well.
Who you think we missed out as well, because I'm sure there's going to be tons.
What about Lionel Messi and the false 9?
Speaking
the false 9, bro. Did you ever grow up before Messi arrived? You never knew what a false. You never heard of the thing. The false 9.
No, here's the thing. There wasn't no designated false 9 position, but I knew there were players who I was like, they're not out and out 9s. Like guys like Cassano or Raul, Good Johnson. You're like, they're 9s, but they don't. They're too techie. Bergkamp, prime example. Like,
but in Bergkamp and like Zola's,
but that was the guys, 2 striker system.
And they were kind of like the second striker. That's when the CF was really popping.
Del Piero and
the false 9 how many teams did we start seeing trying to deploy?
It was different. It
some
definitely
reball versions. Like, bro, Messi playing in the false nine basically allowed Spain to be like, oh, we can play midfielders up top. Okay, cool. We'll play Fabregas in the false nine. We'll play this person. David Silva will go in the false nine. And then you just start seeing so many nations. That's where you get my man behind the screen. That's where you get Martials that think they can play the nine. You know what I'm trying to say? They want to be, you know what I'm saying? They want to be Messi, but you ain't Messi. But you know what I'm saying? I feel like Henry was a weird kind of hybrid kind of nine himself. So maybe you can say that he was around and it was, but Messi defined it. You called it false nine. A striker that was popping up in DM positions, getting the ball, popping it back, then it ends up scoring 60 goals. How is that possible? And I think it inspired a generation.
The only thing I will say is not many people could repeat it. Yeah, and it kind of expired quickly, in my opinion, where people figured out the false nine system and it was like, you know what, pack this in. If it ain't Messi, no one else can do it type of thing. So that's my only...
But what about like the Firminos? You don't think that's the influence of Messi?
Yeah. You know what?
Bobby Firmino. You know what I mean? Like,
it has definitely given breed to a form of striker that we didn't know of before, and now has an appreciation.
It's basically the flip side to the Drogba situation, because Drogba had Duff and Robin who get down the line and put the ball in the box or whatever. But then you bring in a Firmino who's going to be playing as the focal point of a 4-3-3. But now them man have to score, and I'm the one that's going to be doing. And I think. Yes, I think it maybe is expiring now. Haaland and Benzema scoring a lot now. Lewin, you know, all these guys are coming back. Vlahovic, all these type of guys. But let's not forget, Liverpool have been in the last 5-6 years the dominant team in Europe
with that.
With the false nine, which stemmed from Messi.
First,
I mean, and when I say dominant, people are going to say they only won one. They've been to 3 finals in the last like 6 years. That's incredible.
This is a culture one, yeah. But for a long time, you know, this whole black centre mid thing, it wasn't smiled upon. We couldn't play centre mid. We couldn't dictate games. We were just, you get me?
You saying big Yaya?
And then my man came.
Nah, he didn't influence.
I don't know.
Game.
No, I'm not saying influence. I'm saying it's more sort of a cultural. It's a cultural thing. Because before that, we weren't getting respect as black central midfielders. You could say
give Seedorf some respect, man.
No,
give Ruud Gullit some respect. Give Rijkaard some respect.
I'm talking about in terms of what Yaya did in that season
for African midfielders, maybe.
That's what I'm saying. It's a cultural thing. It's like, oh, you know what? Maybe they can.
Yeah, maybe they can. He hasn't really influenced many others to come through.
I get what you're saying.
We've got Bakayokos and them, bro. You know what I mean? That's his influence. Is that Yaya's legacy? Bro, is that Yaya's legacy, bro? Yo, I'm good. I'm good.
Tap that one out.
I'm good. I'm good. But you gotta think though. There's one. Okay, this is my last honourable mention, just for the people to think about. You gotta think. There's one person in football who had a position named after him.
Makalele
role.
100%.
The Makalele role. If you're talking about the impact of the 4-3-3, it's not just Drogba, you know.
It's twofold.
It's Makalele too.
Yeah.
And then the 4-3-3 went crazy from there. But the only thing is the 4-3-3 was a Dutch formation that we know they've been playing for years. So I'm not saying Chelsea birthed the 4-3-3. But how can you have a role named after you?
Midfielder specialist,
like bro, that. You know number 6s or whatever. Those used to be the water carrier. No, you don't think about that. You're like think about the guys around it.
You are the guy.
But Makalele's impact on that team, I feel like he was the first one. Maybe you saw he did at Real Madrid as well, and when he left, they collapsed. So it was like, wait, Makalele was really the cog. He was the one that made cogs popular, bro. You know what I mean? Like, now we're looking at
shout.
You know what I mean? Like, we're not looking at goals, assists, flair, and stuff. We're talking about the most important, arguably, player on the pitch is the.
And do you know why it was so sick as well? Because with him, it wasn't about, you know, when you had central midfielders before, it was like box to box, and then there's one guy that's just a butcher. It wasn't about being a butcher. There was
intelligence.
Intelligence is like the defensive midfielder role is one of intelligence. So you got that is a great shot.
There's many. It's crazy when you go through. There's so many.
There's loads, but that's why it's a great conversation.
The DLP. There's so many. Like it's mad. Anyway,
but listen, man.
That's mine.
Like we said, we're here every single week. When the big fixture's on, you see us as well. But let us know in the comments what you think. Get involved in the conversation. Make sure you come and check us out as well. Get involved in the live stream. Like, share, subscribe, algorithm on. We'll see you soon.